start.
Okay. So I'll stand. I'll turn the meeting over to Commissioner Cook for a few minutes.
We have with us the Topeka Civil Air Patrol Honor Guard, and they're going to do the presentation of the colors.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the October 16th, 2014 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of Commissioners. My name is Bob Archer. I currently serve as chair of the commission and represent District 3 alongside Commissioner Kevin Cook, who serves as vice chair, represents District 2, and Commissioner Shelley Bueller, who represents District 1. Welcome and good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First item, please.
Under proclamations, presentations, number 1, introduction of James L. Brown, Chief of Police.
I met Chief Brown at the dedication of the emergency services at Vallejo a couple of weeks ago, and asked him to please come and introduce himself to the commissioners and our leadership team, and we wanted to welcome him to Topeka and Shawnee County. So, Chief Brown.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's an honor to serve the citizens of Shawnee County and Topeka, Kansas. Been in law enforcement for about 30 years, spent 23 years of that in Kansas City before coming here. So like I said, it's an honor to have been selected as the new chief. My wife Cheryl and I, we're official city residents as of Tuesday. We closed on our home, so we are officially city residents. And I did sell my home in Kansas City, so that was also pleasing. I wasn't real interested in owning 2 homes at the same time, so that worked out well. We are empty nesters as of last spring. My sons, who also served in the Civil Air Patrol in the Kansas City Composite Squadron, both received appointments to the Air Force Academy. So my son Jared is currently a freshman at the Air Force Academy, and my son Jacob turned down his appointment for a Army scholarship for the medical field. So he'll be going that. So I'll have 1 green and 1 blue serving the great state of Kansas and the United States. So it's a pleasure to be here. I think for the first 90 days of what we will be doing on the police department, we have a big inspection coming up. It's a CALIA inspection, Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. It's a very important inspection that comes every 3 years, so we'll be focusing all of our attention on that inspection coming up in December. Once again, thank you, commissioners, for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to serve.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Chief.
Thank you.
So good to have you here.
Welcome, and welcome to your family as well.
Yes, absolutely. Next item, please.
Item 2, presentation regarding Library at Work program.
Morning, Betty Griner, Financial Administrator. I'm pleased to announce that with the support of the Commissioners and with a partnership with the Topeka and Shawnee County Public Library, the Shawnee County Courthouse will be the latest site for the Library at Work program. I'd like to thank Jane Rezak and Stephanie Mott for working to get this set up and going. I'd like to acknowledge that Gina Millsap, who is the Chief Executive Officer for the library, is here today. And then I'd like to introduce Thad Hartman. His title is Community and Strategic Services Manager at the library, and he'll give you a brief overview of what this means to the courthouse and the county.
Thank you. Well, one of our major initiatives at the library over the last few years has been to create service equity throughout Shawnee County, regardless of how difficult it is for someone to go to the library. And we have a lot of services such as Bookmobile, our red carpet, even our partnership with the Parks and Rec Department with our computer labs that are really geared towards people who can't make it to the library because of where they live, or maybe just because they don't have they have physical issues that are keeping them from traveling that distance. But in our community survey we recently did, we found out that the major reason people don't use the library as much as they would like is just because of a lack of time. With everyone's busy personal lives, busy work lives, they just don't have the time even to stop in to pick up a book. And so that's the reason behind the Library at Work program. So this is a program that allows employees, anyone who works here at the courthouse, can place a reserve on any item from the library's catalog, books, movies, music, and they simply select Shawnee County Courthouse as the pickup location. We will deliver items on Tuesdays and Thursdays every week to, I believe it's one of the rooms downstairs here, and it will just, they will be notified once the item is available. It will have their name on it. They go to the area and pick it up. It'll be checked out to them already. They can also return items to that same location, although they can return those items to any book drop around town or to the main library. And also, we're going to be picking up any returns here at the courthouse in that same area, so if they've checked it out anywhere, they can return it here as well. Really, the only thing they need is a library card, and we are actually going to be signing people up for library cards here at the courthouse right outside of the break room from 11 to 1:30 today. So if anybody here doesn't have a library card, stop on by from 11 to 1:30, and we will get you signed up.
Awesome.
Questions?
Questions or comments?
I think this is a great opportunity for our employees to be able to participate with the library. Like you said, it's so difficult, sometimes life gets busy just to get to the library, but this is a good way for the library to be accessible to our employees.
Exactly.
Couple
Yes,
questions.
Commissioner.
What other examples in the community? Where are you doing this? Other places?
We have Hills and West Star, both downtown.
Great.
We also have the Topeka Police Department and Stormont Vale.
Very good. Awesome. And then if someone who hasn't used their library card for a while, What do you have to do? I haven't.
Well, it depends on how long it's been since you've used
Okay.
your card, so it
I'll
may
be
still be
there.
active. But
Okay.
if you haven't, feel free to just stop on by at 11, or if you can't stop by today, any bookmobile stop or the main library, just get your card.
Good deal.
It takes you just a couple minutes, and we'll get you all set up and ready to go.
Great, thank you.
I'd like to say thank you, too, for bringing this program to Shawnee County. I'd like to say appreciate Gina's leadership in the library. I know Betty's on the board of directors now in the library, and I appreciate her service there. And the library is a tremendous asset for Topeka and Shawnee County, and the way I know that is because every time I go, I have trouble finding a place to park.
That's true.
And anytime you've got demand
True.
for a service like that, to me, it's just a great opportunity for our community. So, thank you, and keep up the good work.
Well, thank you, and
Yep.
we certainly appreciate the partnership, and we're really looking forward to it.
Cool. Thank you
Thank
again. Next item, please.
Item 3, consent agenda.
Questions or comments on the consent agenda?
I do not have any questions.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the consent agenda as presented by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers that total $921,162.12. Really, three things to highlight: just our keepers' contributions for employees' retirement, holding accounts with the state of Kansas. Again, I would just note that Parks and Recreation had a large amount of expenditures, but none of them are of issue, just that there's a number of expenditures due to the Parks and Recreational activities. Those total up to $791,116, which almost attributes to most of the accounts. And so I do not find any issue with the vouchers. I would move for their approval.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller to approve the vouchers. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
There are no correction orders.
Next item, please.
Item B, Bond Council, number 1, consider approval of the following resolutions. A, resolution number 2014-88, authorizing the acquisition of additional improvements to the Shawnee North Trail, the Shunga Trail Extension, and the building at 3420 Southwest Van Buren to be paid from unspent certificates of participation, Series 2009 proceeds under a lease purchase agreement and trust agreement dated August 1st, 2009. B, resolution number 2014-89, authorizing an amendment to a lease purchase agreement and trust agreement dated March 1, 2010 with Security Bank of Kansas City, the trustee to the county's certificates of participation Series 2010, to effectuate the acquisition of additional improvements for the Shunga Trail Extension and the building at 3420 Southwest Van Buren to be paid from unspent certificates of participation Series 2010 proceeds. And C, resolution number 2014-90, authorizing the acquisition of improvements at a building at 3420 Southwest Van Buren to be paid from the contingency project account created in connection with the county's certificates of participation Series 2012 under a lease purchase agreement and trust agreement dated July 15th, 2012.
Morning, Bob Perry. Each of these resolutions is a little technical requirement under the respective leases and indentures for each of the respective certificates of participation issues. We have to track where the additional proceeds are being spent, and so that we have a clear indication of which projects are being pledged under which trust indenture for which investors.
Questions or comments from Mr. Perry?
I have no questions. Move
Aye.
to adopt the resolutions.
Second.
Motion made to adopt the resolutions by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item C, Public Works Solid Waste. Number 1, consider change order number 2, final, to contract C 47-2014 with Schmidtline Excavating Incorporated, reflecting an increase in the original contract amount and previously approved change order number 1 by $6,270.76 for the Northwest 46th and North Topeka Boulevard project.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Block with Public Works and Solid Waste. This item is the final change order, as it was mentioned, for the Northwest 46 and Topeka project, which is part of the current county half-cent sales tax program. This change order is just to adjust all quantities for actual constructed quantities. So it's just basically a final accounting to match them up with what was originally bid versus what was actually constructed. With this change order and all previous change orders, the project still came under our budget, and this is paid for 100% by the countywide half-cent sales tax. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Questions or comments for Mr. Vlock?
I don't have any.
I don't either. Move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item D, Parks and Recreation. Number 1, consider approval of a request to solicit letters of interest for professional marketing services at an estimated cost to be less than $50,000 per year.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Knight, Parks and Recreation. To start, I'd like to introduce a couple of staff that are probably new to the County Commission meetings. Terry Simpson is sitting here in the back. In the middle. In the middle. Terry works real closely with both the items that you'll hear today, both the marketing as our department's marketing coordinator, but also then with the foundation, which that item will be on here next. Terry Bertels, too, is here with the Parks as the Parks Director, and he'll talk about the second item. Randy Luby is here because he is actually trying to break a long string. He wanted to find out some more information about the library, because he actually went completely through high school, completely through college, without ever knowing where the library was at either of those two institutions. So he's going to try to break that long string and visit the Topeka Public Library. Sorry, Randy. Commissioners, this item, when it was in the newspaper the other day, I felt that the message that was coming out wasn't completely clear, and I went back and I read my memo, and I don't think that the message coming out from my memo was completely clear. I want to make sure this commission knows that this isn't, I'm not hiring marketing and promotional services. I'm wishing to go out and hire a marketing firm to develop an internal and external marketing plan for our department then to implement. I estimate that this first year may cost as much as $45,000 or $50,000, but out years where they come back in and review the plan and get us back on track would be much less, maybe in the $5,000 to $6,000 range. All of these fees would be recovered through the fees that they and the additional participation that we would have in these programs. I've talked with Betty. She had the same feeling that I did, that the message getting out there really wasn't as clear as it should be. Somebody may ask, you have a marketing coordinator, why wouldn't you have that person do that? Just to kind of explain a little bit of Terry's history. She became the marketing coordinator for the City of Topeka's Parks and Rec Department when the City of Topeka eliminated their marketing person. As a lot of positions within Parks and Recreation, we take a good employee, stick them in a job that they're not 100% qualified for, and to follow along that same line, that's what I did when we merged the two departments. So she's been asking for some help. She'll tell you she's not trained in marketing and advertising. She wants this help. She does a great job of coordinating those services, but developing the plan, we don't have anybody on staff that can do that. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Questions? Commissioner Cook?
Let's see, Ms. Greiner coming to the podium.
Well, I just wanted to clarify something in our conversation. What we hope for this marketing plan to be is to take our master plan, which is going to be our roadmap on the Parks and Rec Department, to take that master plan, the information from that master plan, and incorporate that into this marketing plan.
Just to add to what she was saying there, the master plan and the public surveys that came back, it was called out numerous times in the master plan that people really like the programs and the facilities that we have to offer, but their recommendation back to us was to do a better job of letting them know what is out there.
Commissioner Cook?
Yeah. John, why would we go to hire an outside, it sounds like a consultant more than anything else, a consultant who's going to give us maybe tips on marketing, Why not take that $50,000 and actually hire somebody who's dedicated just to marketing, somebody whose specialty is in marketing and advertising, as a full-time employee? Why not do it that way?
Well, my opinion would be that when you have a permanent employee, this way we stay fresh, in my opinion. Every 2 or 3 years, we can change the firm, we can update the plan. If you have a person and they're here 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, pretty soon you've used up all of their ideas. I like to stay fresh and on the cusp of what's new and out there. I am just now getting accustomed to Facebook, and I understand that that's already passed, and Twitter's already passed, all of those type of things. I'd like to have somebody on staff who can help us stay fresh with those type of things. I've also found that permanent employees actually end up costing us more down the road with cost of living raises, benefits, all of those type of things. I think this is the best financial direction for us to go.
Commissioner, if I may.
Sure.
The second question I had was, when we have a number of agencies and departments that are doing marketing, whether it's the health agency, Parks and Recreation, solid waste, and the recycling, why not try to find a marketing agency that would maybe be able to give helpful ideas and tips to the whole county as opposed to just Shawnee County Parks and Recreation?
That's certainly an option. We did sit down with Misty and some people in the IT department as well before we put this proposal together. Their recommendation wasn't to go out to have the plan developed. They said that they probably didn't have those skills to develop the plan for us. I haven't been thinking about all of the other departments that Shawnee County has. I was just focusing on Shawnee County Parks and Rec's needs, but that's certainly an option.
Just to kind of follow
Sure.
up on Commissioner Cook's comments, once you get the marketing plan in place, you still have to have the people at the department level to do the work, and in my experience, that has been a challenge. And I think we need to invest dollars in marketing. I'm not quite sure how to do that, and because your department brings in the most amount of revenue for this county, and so I think it's worth investing in marketing. But $50,000. I mean, you say not more than, but what kind of?
I would say
feedback-
over a 3-year period, it'd be a lot closer to 65 or 70,000 over a 3-year period. And I don't know what those are until I get the letters of interest back and we begin negotiating. A little over a year ago, we went out and asked for the same thing while we were getting ready to start the master plan, and I figured that, I just assumed that it would be best to wait till that master plan came back and see what it said that addressed the marketing and advertising.
And John, this is just for letters of interest,
Mhm.
Yes.
so we're not spending any
That's right.
dollars at this point. But
Correct.
so you're trying to kind of get a gauge of what may be out there that would be specific for Parks and Recreation.
I would. We bring in about $5.5 to $6 million a year in revenue. We spend about $35,000, $40,000 on advertising and marketing. Either we're a really good business or we're leaving a lot of dollars on the table. I don't know of any businesses that spend that low a percentage on marketing and advertising.
But I think if we look, Commissioner, I see Misty Kruger at the back. Misty does an excellent job with the health agency, working as the public information officer, getting out the message, doing advertising. I know that I get constant updates, whether it's through Twitter, Facebook, or just the news media in general, on activities or concerns that arise within the health agency. And I can see how this might be applicable just to other agencies or other departments, and not just the Parks and Recreation. If we're looking at, if that's the direction we're going to go into, and if I hear correctly, marketing your message, delivering your message to the public.
Mhm.
Is that really what this is for? Is just marketing your message, and how do we get our services better out to the public?
That, and I expect a financial impact from this. I expect more people signing up, us making more revenues on our programs, all of those type of things as well.
Well, and that's what matters to me. This is issuing letter of interest. I'm sort of on the fence to whether this is a good idea, vice hiring somebody full-time for the position and the assignment. But I'm gonna vote for this as a letter of interest. But I would tell anyone that is interested in the assignment that I want to see what the results are that they're going to provide for the money we're going to spend. But I've said for a long time, we don't tell our success stories enough. We don't advertise and market what we do in Parks and Rec, and we have one of the finest Parks and Rec departments in the country. It's just outstanding. So, anyway, I'll make a motion to approve the request to solicit letters of interest.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. I didn't know if you were going to.
No.
You're voting no?
I'm voting yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna go with the yes on this one.
Excuse us, Chief, we're usually a lot smoother than this. Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, John. Next item.
Item D2, consider approval of a request to hire a real estate appraiser to appraise a plot of land that has been offered as donation to the county at an estimated cost of $800.
Commissioners, this is, as the clerk just stated, somebody has offered us a significant size piece of property. What comes with that is we own it forever and long-term, and there would be some maintenance expenses with that. That's why I brought this down here to the commissioners. We initially ran this through the foundation, the Topeka Community Foundation and the Shawnee County Parks and Rec Foundation. They have a very good mechanisms for accepting land, but usually most of their guidelines are set for accepting those lands and properties as a way to fulfill endowments, those type of things. So their regulations are to then sell the property for the most value. That's not really what the donor wants, and that's not really what we want here. I think this is going to take a three-way partnership in which the county accepts the land and the foundation then it works to develop the funding to help maintain some of that as we go through to help the county. This parcel property is directly adjacent to Dornwood. Our initial intentions are to leave it as open, a natural space so kids and families can have access to the nature, but it also provides an integral link to 29th Street, which is very enticing for our future trail development. With that, Terry Bertles is here somewhere. And he can answer any specific questions about the property. But Terry Simpson, who does a lot of work with our foundation, was integral in getting this to where we are right now.
Questions or comments,
I
Commissioner?
just note that I fully support the acquisition of this property. I think this may be the missing link that we've been looking for a long time, since we chose not to do the extension on the Wittenberg Bridge. With the question being, how do you connect our Shunga Trail, Dornwood Trail to Lake Shawnee Trail? And this could provide that missing link, and I think this is a key component to our trail system in Topeka and Shawnee County. Also, Dornwood Master Plan, fitting this into the Dornwood Master Plan. The only question I did have, you're asking to hire an appraiser, which is good, but why would we not use our Shawnee County appraiser? Why have an independent appraiser? And that's a question.
I asked Terry Bertles that same question, and I don't remember what his response was, but he does.
It's a condition of our accepting the ground from the donor that we hire an appraisal firm to do the appraisal. It wasn't do an appraisal, it's hire a firm outside of the county to do an appraisal for.
I'm managing, it's a matter of independence also.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Commissioner?
don't have anything to add other than thank you to the donor for their
Yes,
generosity.
absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
pretty amazing, so.
It
We
is
need to be
amazing.
good stewards then
It
of
is
that
amazing.
land.
And I appreciate your comments, Commissioner Cook, and you're absolutely right for pointing those out. So I
would move for approval of the hiring of an independent appraiser for the acquisition of the property.
Second.
motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook and seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3 to 0.
Commissioners, as as this item goes on, we've deliberately not used the people's names and all that other kind of stuff, but there'll be significant ribbon cuttings and bringing out some of the family history and stuff that'll be onto the website, which are all important to the family. I didn't want to make it easier on the real estate people to begin attacking him before the commissioners approve this. So you'll see more on this item as we go along.
Very good. Thank you, John. Next item, please.
Item E, Audit Finance, number 1, update on revenues and expenditures.
Okay, good morning. I'm here for our September 30 snapshot of our financial situation. I'll start out with total revenue and then go into the different categories. As you can see, our total revenue year-to-date through September 30 is $97,896,695. That is compared to our budgeted amount of $93,015,298. The different colors here show the different categories from property tax to, the blue is the property tax, the red is special assessments, green is other taxes, the purple is property-related fees, the lighter blue is charges for services, and then the orange is miscellaneous revenue. This shows that our current revenues are over budget by $4,881,000. And as I go through the categories, I'll go into where those variances are. This is another chart that just kind of shows in another manner where those revenues come from. You can see on this chart that 72% come from our property taxes. So this big blue area is our property taxes. That is our ad valorem tax. I use the term property taxes. I think that is what most taxpayers call it. If you would other taxes, here is another 10%, and then our special assessments is another 4%. So if you actually look at all of the tax revenue we receive, and including the special assessments, that's 86% of all the revenue we receive is from taxes and special assessments. So this chart just, I felt like, showed that in a easy to read manner. Okay, now we will go into the different categories. The first category we'll look at is property taxes, and our property taxes year-to-date are $70,727,639. That is $1,456,000 above what we had budgeted, which means that our delinquencies are down. This is on just current year property taxes. And just for the month of September, we did have a distribution in the month of September, which is a smaller distribution. So our property taxes were $62,000 over budget for just the month of September. But I think the real picture here, or the real story here, is that we have less delinquencies this year. So I think people hopefully are getting back on their feet a little bit. We go to the next section, is special assessments. Now this one is down a little bit, but it's still pretty much right where we were before. We are under budget by $369,000 in special assessments. Okay, other taxes. If we look at other taxes, we have received $9,680,000 compared to our budget of $8,141,000, and this is different taxes. This is delinquent taxes. In the month of September, we receive our distribution for all of the delinquent taxes we have received over the last year. That I had budgeted $1 million for that. We actually received $1,279,000. So there again, that is a positive that people are paying their delinquent taxes at a higher rate than we had seen in the past also. Also, this includes our motor vehicle tax, and as I've said all year, we are ahead on that. I believe that was underestimated by the state for the year of 2014, and we used their estimate on that. So we are $993,000 above budget on that item alone, and just in the month of September, we are $425,000 above budget. We're also ahead of budget on our city-county highway taxes and on our franchise taxes. Okay, if we go to this next category, which is the property-related fees, you can see we've received 1,954,000 of those. We are actually under budget by 125,000 on that. And that is mostly on mortgage registration fees. Mortgage registration fees are down this year to date by that amount. And that may just be, I know in 2014 we had a couple large mortgage registrations from commercial properties. So, it could be something, just as small as that. For the month of September, we were 4,000 over budget on these property-related fees, so pretty much right on target. The next is our charges for services. Now, this includes charges for services for Parks and Rec, for the detention facility, sheriff's fees, all of those. And that area, we have received $5,231,000. That is, year-to-date, that is $281,000 under budget. Most of that is in the detention facility, is a little under what we projected, but the rest of it is just kind of spread among all of those fees that we collect. And then our last one that has really been so beneficial to us this year is our miscellaneous revenue. And you can see year-to-date we have received $6,459,871 compared to a budget of $3,798,000. So we are $2,660,000 over budget on this. And this is, I've been telling you all along kind of what this is from, but mostly this is from several defeasance revenues that we've received. We've received a clawback, and then other miscellaneous revenues that we've received from other governmental organizations and that kind of thing. So, and these were all things that you really cannot budget, especially the defeasance. That is just based on the market and how fast people pay off their mortgages that are part of these. So those are something you can't really budget for, and we have just been very fortunate this year that we have had a lot of those come in that have really, that will really help our general fund balance in the long run. Okay. Now if I go on to the expenditure side, our total expenditures year to date are $72,774,000 compared to our budget of $76,749,000. So we are actually under budget year to date by $3,975,000. And for the month of September, we're under budget $194,000. But most of that is an under budget in the public works area of $150,000, and that is just a timing issue. So, really for the month of September, we are right on budget. And part of this, we did, we've talked about in prior months, we did see a significant savings in our debt service this year. So that is part of that. I do want to caution you when we see that we are so far under budget. I think our departments have been very good at watching their budgets very closely this year because they knew this was going to be a tough budget year, and they have been really watching every expenditure. So as they get closer to the end of the year, and if they see that they are doing well in their budget, we may see them making some purchases that they have been putting off throughout the year. So I just want to caution you that this, we'll just wait and see, but it could, it could go the other way a little bit for the remaining months. Also, just to make another general comment here, I'm standing up here, I'm telling us we've received, what was it, 97 million in revenue and 72 million in expenditures, but we have to keep in mind that we have received the vast majority of our revenue for the year. And we still have, from this date, we still have 3 more months of expenditures. So that's why the discrepancy on that. Okay, here is another pie chart. This is on the expenditure side that just shows where we are spending our money. 41% of it is for public safety, judicial, and emergency services. And as you can see, that is definitely the largest slice of this pie. The others, we have 7% for public works, public health and human services is 9%, recreation and culture 18%, debt service is 12%, operational services is 13%. I would just mention that debt service is 12%. That will go down through the rest of the year because we have made all of our debt service payments for this year. So even though I think most of us in our personal life would be very happy if our debt service was only 12% of our income, or 12% of our expenditures, because when you look at house payments and car payments and that kind of thing. But that percentage of 12% will go down between now and the end of the year. I'd also mention this public works 7% amount. That is that amount if in future years, if the sales tax extension is not voted on, that at some point in time will have to increase. So because a lot of our roads and bridges are being covered by the JADO right now. So anyway, any questions?
Questions or comments for Betty?
Thank you for the update, as always.
Yes. Commissioner?
No, thank you, Ben.
A couple of things. This will be on our website again. I want
Yes.
to remind the public that we always put our financial information out there, and this is very clear in presentation form, and I appreciate that. I wanted to ask you, you said that motor vehicle tax was high above projections, and I know for 2015, we were projecting, or the state was, somebody was projecting that motor vehicle tax would go up next year. I'm wondering if we're seeing some of that this year, and that we might not see the increase that we projected for next year.
Well, no, I think if you look over a period of years, you look at 13 and then you looked at 14, what they predicted showed a significant decrease from 13 to 14. And then they show it going back up to 15.
Mhm.
I personally think it was just more of a projection problem for 14.
Okay.
Because now we're going back up to more where it was in the past, and I think that is probably more where it should be. Another thing, since you brought this up too, that made me think, I said that we have less delinquencies. And when we were budgeting, excuse me, when we were budgeting for our 15 budget, using the most current information we had, our delinquent rate that we used to budget for 15 is significantly down. We went from 14, for the 14 budget, we used a 4% delinquency rate, and for 15, we used a 2.6%. So that has been adjusted for our 15 budgeting. But the motor vehicle, I think, was just a fluke for that one
Okay.
year.
Okay. All right. As usual, thank you very much, Betty. Next item, please.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
Commissioners, Tom Block, Public Works and Solid Waste. This will be the last time I mention this, but this Saturday is our tire collection event, which is free of charge for residents of Shawnee County. They can drop off 5 vehicle or pickup truck tires. We don't take tractor tires or anything like that. But it'll be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Shawnee County North Annex. There will be signage directing folks where to go. And if they could, it's not a requirement, but if they could, we're trying to collect some cans of food for Project Topeka as part of the deal. So if they can bring along a can of food or more, or a case of food, we'd be more than happy to accept it and give it to Project Topeka. So, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Other administrative communications? Okay. Commissioner Cook, I see what is your lapel pin?
I was there last night at the Royals game, so I was there. I was a little bit hoarse today, so very exciting, and that the Royals are in the World Series, and so I'll be probably even more hoarse next Thursday.
It is exciting for all of us. Commissioner Bueller, anything? Okay. Next item, please.
Item 6, executive session.
There's not a need. Next item. We are going to go, we need to adjourn, and let's say 10 o'clock, and we'll reconvene for the Board of Health meeting, if that's okay with everybody. So our regular meeting is adjourned, and we'll be back at 10 o'clock.
The reason Tony is not here today is I have, because she is focusing on the biggest bad needs for one of the most money to Shawnee County.